This conference will now be recorded.
All right, I know that y'all can't see me. I'm working on it. That actually may be an improvement. But technical difficulties.
This is GoToMeeting app, Frank. Who's on the phone right now?
Yeah, I agree. I think it's much smoother with,
Okay. I'm gonna run to the storehouse and I'll be on for your chat, okay?
okay, hopefully I can figure this out sooner rather than later. I still can't get my screen to duplicate up there.
Hit share screen. There you go.
Share. Cool, and then let me figure out how to view my face.
If y'all need a quick donut break, there are donuts outside and cupcakes and cookies and coffee. All right. I'm gonna be the chat now.
Oh, Lisa, you're gonna throw me to the wolves here. Okay, cool. Y'all can see me, but it's not showing up on the screen.
You need to duplicate your screen.
I've done that like 17 times. And then it doesn't show. Is there another one of the adapters at the front?
No, but you can use my laptop if you want to. Once you can hold it up.
Okay. All right, sorry about this, guys. Trying to get this going. The pressure is on. Lisa, I'm just going to send you a bunch of files. Yeah, that are all from the presentation. Cool. I know you guys can see me on GoToMeet. The issue is with the projector screen here at the office. Or maybe it's my computer with the projector screen. It doesn't like it.
Ryan, you'll want to duplicate your screen.
Yeah, I've done that like 6 times, but it doesn't like it. See, I hit this duplicate thing and then nothing happens. So, are you back on?
Yeah, email it to me.
I did. Sorry, guys.
I'll have to.
Your computer's huge.
Let me unrecord that
This
now.
conference will now be recorded.
Okay. Close, save, close, close, close. Okay. So you should have your PowerPoint right here.
Yeah.
And then share screen. There you go. Does that work?
Yes.
Then right here is your PDF files.
Brilliant.
Okay,
Cool.
check it. They can hear you.
Awesome. What's up, guys? How are y'all doing today? Everybody good? Can you hear me online? Everybody good with that? Okay, I'm gonna hope so. Okay. All right. So my name is Ryan Barker, and this is I've been with Abby for about 2.5 years, and this past year I was very blessed in my business, and I'm closing about 17 listings, just listings this year. And of the 17 listings, I actually went on 18 appointments, and only one of the appointments did I not get. And so what I'm really trying to do is follow this format to a T every single time. And whether that be doing a listing presentation for my mom or doing it for somebody that I've never met before, I do it every single time the exact same way, because it's good information that people need to know, and it's best practices in our industry that we need to do on a regular basis. Okay, so no matter what, I always follow this same format. Okay, so here's what we're going to do today, and here's what we're not going to do today. So today we're going to be covering some best listing practices, going through my listing routine, maybe some sales techniques, some professionalism, but the main reason why I put this in place is for the sake of efficiency. We have a lot going on in our industry, and so I've put certain steps in place to be able to help out with the efficiency. What we're not doing today is learning dot loop or zip forms. We're not learning how to upload a listing in detail. We're not learning how to use showing time, or how to how to do a CMA, or how to negotiate an offer. And the main reason why we're not doing that today is because you get that in so many other classes here at Abby, whether that be Cheryl Vecchio's class on how to set up your templates, or whether that be the classes that Lisa does for new agents, essentials, and that kind of stuff. We're not doing that stuff. We're not doing those nuts and bolts today. What we are talking about doing is going from when you get that initial listing call, okay, hey, so-and-so, will you come list my home? Okay, going from there, converting that phone call into the listing and taking it all the way up to appointment, to a contract. Okay, going through the appointment and taking it up to a contract. Is everybody cool with that? Okay, cool. Hey, if y'all have any questions, please don't hesitate to interrupt me and ask. Okay, I'm ADD and I would love to get to your questions. I tried to temper my caffeine intake this morning, but it didn't work. Okay, so I'm here and I'm wired and I'm here for you. So if somebody could help me monitor the chat in particular, that's going to be hard for me to monitor. So jump in, because online audience, I would love to answer your questions as well. Okay, cool. So somebody calls you, hey, so-and-so, I really like you. Can you list my home? Okay. First off, we've all gotten that phone call kind of out of nowhere. Okay. And you can freak out. You can go into freak out mode. Okay. But you cannot go into freak out mode, because during that phone call, you have some critical information that you have to get from that phone call. Okay. You need to be able to get their home home address. You need to be able to get some info on the home, like bedrooms and bathrooms and that kind of stuff. Most importantly, you need to figure out, you need to get from them the home conditions, because in many of our neighborhoods, all the homes were built at about the same time, right? Okay, but home number A has been really well taken care of. Home number B is a little bit dated. Home number 3 has raccoons living in the attic. Okay, so we need to get a pretty good idea of kind of where does this home lie on that scale, okay, with the condition of it, okay? And I think most importantly from your sellers, you need to get an ideal timeline for them. Okay, when do they want to have the home listed by? Okay, if you show up running and they're walking, then you're not going to be on the same page. Okay, you need to meet your clients or potential clients where they are. Is everybody good with that? Okay, awesome. So with this initial phone call, okay, you kind of rope it into two timelines. Okay, you have the people. Yes, Ruben. Oh, sure thing. Sure thing. So close this. You mean the go to meeting thing? Cool. Okay, cool. And incidentally, all of the slides and that kind of stuff, because I'm going to put up a lot of information here. At the end of the presentation, I've got a QR code that will take you to every single one of these slides. That'll take you through every single one of my listing handouts. Okay, or at least the ones that are unique to me, like the CMA. I'm not going to put that in there. Okay. Hang on a second. Let me turn this up too. Hey, Morgan, how are you? Ah, come on, hang on. Let me get. Awesome.
Are you having technical difficulties or something? I know you suck at technology.
I know I suck at technology, but not as bad as Kevin though.
Oh, that's always true.
So that's good. So
okay,
all
the
right.
reason I'm calling is because I've got something super urgent I need to talk to you about.
Well, hey, Mo, you just got married, right?
Yes,
And
I did.
you're on your honeymoon, correct?
Yes, of course I am.
Why are you calling me from your Why are you calling me from your honeymoon right now?
Well, that's exactly why I'm calling, actually, because I'm married now. We have two houses. We're like, we need to be in one house and not worry about the other one as quickly as possible.
Okay, so
like now.
Okay, so you're ready to get your home listed right now, right?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Hey, let me get a little bit of information from you, Morgan. Like, what's the address on the property?
It's 12592 Capricornus.
Okay, cool. And is that like, where is that? Up in Conroe or Willis, or because I know that's where you're
it's in
from,
Willis,
right?
near Lake Conroe.
Okay, right on. Tell me a little bit about the home.
So it's 3 bedroom, 2 bath, built in at like, I don't know, around 2000. I have to check, but it's in way better shape than when I bought it. You know, it's empty since we just moved in together. And
Okay.
yeah, I'm just ready to sell.
So you're like, hey, this needs to be gone like stat, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So so the home is empty. Have you had it cleaned recently?
I'm going to.
Okay. Okay, cool. What's, you know, I know you're on your honeymoon. What's, you know, when are you going to be back from your honeymoon?
Unfortunately, we'll just be gone a week. So,
Okay.
you know, we'll be back next week.
Okay, cool. And I know that you're going to have like some time to that you'll need to get reacclimated to the real world once you get back. But once you're back with the real world, you know, what would you like to get together? And I'd love to walk you through like kind of my pre-listing information and the listing process and what all that looks like. What does that look like for you?
That sounds good. Yeah, let's do that.
What does your schedule look like once you get back?
Well, get back Monday, and I probably need like 2 days to become normal people again. So maybe Wednesday or Thursday.
Okay. Yeah, I could do that. Is afternoon or evening better for you?
Evening.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Well, once you get back in town, I'll shoot you a text and we can set a more specific time. I'm definitely good for that Wednesday afternoon, but I'll shoot you a text and we can nail down the time. Now, what's the best email for you, Morgan?
It's mwest at I'mBetterThanYou.com.
Okay, perfect. Got it. Hang on, somebody's trying to beep in. Somebody.
Oh wait, one more thing.
Hey.
My cousin's also a realtor, so you know, I might be talking to them too.
That's not a problem, Morgan. I appreciate the opportunity to be able to present my listing. My listing information to you. Sorry, somebody really rude is still trying to like bump into our phone call. Sorry. Agreed. But no, I really appreciate the opportunity to be able to present my listing information. I already got your email, so stop it. And so here's what I'm going to send you. I'm going to send you a pre-listing info packet that's got a lot of different information on what all goes into the listing. It's going to have a comparative market analysis, and it's going to have a couple of other pieces of info in there. And it'll also kind of set the agenda for our meetings. So keep an eye out for that. Don't take time away from your honeymoon to do that. But Morgan, I'm going to send you that email. I'm sorry, this really rude person keeps trying to bump in. So let me talk to them later. Okay. Yeah. All right. Let me talk to Mr. Rude here. Okay.
Okay, thanks, Ryan.
All right. Thanks, Morgan. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Hey, Kevin, how are you?
Good, Ryan. How are you today?
I'm doing really awesome. How are all the Aggies in the family?
Well, that's actually what I'm telling you. They're doing great, but they're all going off to school.
Okay.
So the wife and I are kind of realizing we've got more square footage than two people really need.
Yeah.
So we're thinking about selling the house.
Okay, awesome. So tell me a little bit about the house. You guys are out on some acreage, right?
Yeah, a couple of acres. Been here 15 years. We've did some renovations and we bought. We're doing some additional renovating now to get it ready to sell. Unfortunately, with our timeline, the wife started feeding the cat outside, and now we've got a family of raccoons living under the deck. And so until they're grown and gone, we're not going to be ready to go anywhere.
Okay, so we have to literally evict the raccoons before we can get listed.
Evict is such an ugly word, Ryan. We're thinking raise and allow to move on, as opposed to an eviction.
Okay, that sounds great. Well, Kevin, I'd love to come check out the house sometime and walk through it and see what other potential renovations and repairs and that kind of stuff, improvements that we could make it before we get listed. So, what does your schedule look like for the next week?
Pretty busy, but I'm usually home most days by about 5 or 5:30. Would you mind coming in the evening one day?
Yeah, we can absolutely make that work. I think actually on Tuesday and Thursday this week I'm golfing with some bozos, but certainly after that I'd be glad to meet up with you and walk through the home.
Well, one goes over another. Thursday would be great. So why don't we say 5:30 on Thursday?
That works perfect. So, and Kevin, once we get off the phone, could you shoot me your address in a text just so I can make sure that I have it?
Perfect.
Okay, wonderful.
All right. Thanks, Ryan. Look forward to Thursday.
Thanks so much, Kevin. Take care. All right, bye-bye. All right, so obviously those are staged, okay? But this is two really good examples of how to go through that initial listing, can you list my home conversation. And look, have we encountered before, my cousin's an agent? Yeah, absolutely, okay? But even if your cousin is an agent, you can still, I'm gonna turn this off now. You can still win the listing, okay? Through this professional communication, it works, I promise you. One of the listings that I won this year, I was competing against a Better Home and Gardens agent that was their geo farm. They knew the neighborhood incredibly well, and a Remax agent that lived in the neighborhood as well. So I was going up against, I don't say up against, but it was the two of us going for the same listing, the three of us going for the same listing. And I really think that my process is one of the reasons why they decided to choose me. So obviously, once we've got that appointment, once we set the initial appointment, we've got two different things, okay? If the house is, let's go, I'm ready to list this now, okay, cool. Prepare for the appointment and go on it, okay? If they're at the, oh, no stage, okay, go to the walkthrough, suggest improvements, okay? If you tell somebody that their home is ugly, that's not a good look, okay? So don't tell people like, don't get in the door and, what's that smell? Like, don't ask those questions, okay? Don't ask those questions unless it's like,
Is there a body somewhere? You know, like ask it, if you do, ask it in a funny manner. So I think humor, yeah. Oh, and look, I really do think that humor can help cut tension. And I think being a real human being, it helps. Okay, it absolutely helps. So, I would go on that appointment, make some suggestions for improvements. But the biggest thing is ask them, like, what's your ideal timeline for completing these improvements? Okay. Why do you ask that question? Not rhetorical. Why do we ask, like, what's your ideal timeline? Why do we ask that? Yeah, okay, for follow-up, okay? Look, the money in our industry, and Jennifer said it earlier, I've been working with this person for 2 years. The real money in this business is made in the follow-up, okay? It's made with relationships, and it's made in the follow-up, okay? So touch base with that person. Hey, how's it going with this? Do you need a recommendation for a plumber? Okay, provide value to that. Do you need a recommendation for a painter? That kind of stuff, you know? Just check in, hey, how are you doing? How's your family doing during the holidays? Okay, continue to follow up and touch base and build that relationship, okay? Super, super important on that, okay? Cool. All right, now you finished with the phone call. Don't do your happy dance yet. You've got work to do, okay? And from this point forward, we're at the standpoint of they're ready to go, okay? We are going on the listing appointment, okay? So I have a pre-listing email that I'm gonna share with you just next, on the next slide, in zip forms or dot loop, whichever you prefer to use. Go ahead and set up your transaction, because there's going to be paperwork that you need to present to them up front, okay? Namely the IABS, okay? And I like to also give them a T47 right up front, because usually with all of the prep paperwork, that's the one that takes them the most time because of the notary required on it, okay? Go ahead and do a CMA. And all of the questions that you ask them about the house to kind of get the condition, look up the house on the tax roll, okay, to find out, you know, your bedrooms, bathrooms, square footage, size of the lot, size of the acreage, okay? Look up that information on the tax roll, and then go pull your CMA with that information in mind, okay? And then finally, put together a pre-listing packet. Now, I'm going to walk you through my pre-listing packet in just a minute, okay? For me, I can prepare my full pre-listing packet in under a minute, okay? The reason why is because it's a template that all I do is change out their name and their address, and then I send it out again, okay? I'm going to share that with you in just a second. Okay, so once you have set the appointment, I set an agenda to the appointment. Hello, thank you for allowing me the opportunity to be able to come into your home. I've attached to this email are three attachments: pre-listing information, a CMA, and a T47, okay? Those are the things that are in there. We'll cover those in a bit more detail during my meeting with you. But I've also, you know, here are some of the other things that we will go through in the meeting. So right here in this email, and I think this is really important, like a lot of times we go into a pre-listing appointment or a listing appointment, and we don't know exactly what are we gonna do first, what are we gonna do second, what are we gonna do the steps along the way, okay? So this is what I do, and it works well for me, okay? So I take them through the step-by-step process of selling your home, okay? Then I'll go over my marketing plan to get them maximum dollar for the sale of their house. I'll measure every single room in their house, and I'm old school. I don't take my phone and then plug it in. I take a tape measure, okay? I take a tape measure to every single room. I want to measure it myself, okay? The technology obviously can fail, okay? We've experienced that today. And then I'll go over the listing agreements as well as the IABS. I'll bring with me a listing folder, and I'm going to go through this in just a second, but it's got a lot of critical information in it. This doesn't need to be in here. I'll go over all of the information in this folder that I bring to every single appointment in just a sec, okay? But then I also asked them to have prepared for me 2 house keys, okay? Because I'm gonna assume that I'm getting the listing, always, okay? So prepare for me 2 house keys, and I like to put 2 lock boxes on the house. I like to put one either on the gas meter or on a hose bib on the side of the house. And then I like to put the Supra, of course, on the front door. I like to have the combo backup. And the reason being is because I've shown up to the house before and I've had no cell phone signal and I can't get into the house to show because of that, okay? Or the battery on the Supra has run out, okay? The Supra in our industry is the standard, okay? You need to have that on your listings, but a combo lock obviously is more reliable than a Supra, okay? And you can get them for 20 bucks at Home Depot, okay? So I like to have both. All right, so that's what I do, and that's why I have them prepare for me 2 house keys. All right, now the next thing, to use a pre-listing package or not, okay? For me, the answer is overwhelmingly yes, okay? Incidentally, it's from Hamlet, okay? For me, it's absolutely overwhelmingly yes, okay? And the reason why is because my pre-listing package is 18 or 19 pages. It's got a lot of information in it, okay? And it's information that I want them to read over before I show up, okay? Because there's enough stuff to go over at that listing appointment without having to cover who I am and who is Abby Realty, okay? Or arguing with them for an hour about pricing their house appropriately, okay? So that's where I use the pre-listing package in lieu of talking them through all of this. Now, let me take you through my pre-listing package. And once again, this is one of the documents that's in the Dropbox that you'll get access to at the end, okay? So number 1, here's my cover sheet, okay? And honestly, this is the hardest thing to do, okay? It's not fun. So here's my cover sheet. It has, you know, the proposal because I haven't won the listing yet, property address, the owner's name, and my contact info, okay? Then I go through here and I thank them for allowing me in their home. And I tell them what can I bring to the table, okay? I tell them who is Abby Realty, okay? We are not yet one of the big names. We're not Better Home and Gardens or Keller Williams or Remax yet. Frank, I know we're going there, okay? But we're headed there. So sometimes they haven't heard of Abby Realty yet. So that's why I like to put, here's what we are and here's our record of success, okay? I think that's important. This is personal information about me. If I don't know them prior to going into that listing appointment, I think it's important for them to know a little bit about who I am and what I do. They need to know that I work my tail off in real estate to provide for my 4 children. Okay, they need to know that. I think that's really important. And then from here, I want them to see that I have been successful. I want them to see reviews from past clients. And really that shows them I can do the job. I can do the job for you, okay? And their testimony is proof of that, okay? Now from here, I go through pricing of the home. Of the entire pre-listing packet, the 18 pages here, I spend more time talking over pricing the home appropriately, okay? So yes, I think what I put here is long-winded, okay? Straight up, I think it's totally long-winded, but I think that's really the biggest hang up for a lot of people is pricing the home. And so if I can help spell it out and dot every I and cross every T to give them this is why we do it this way, I think that's critically important for them, okay? So I just kind of go through, you know, you're most likely to sell the home within the first 2 weeks of the home being listed. Right now, it's within the first 2 days of the home being listed with the state of the market, which is crazy right now. You know, timing versus selling the price and time decay with pricing the home as well. Determining your home's market value. And I've also, you know, a lot of times they'll ask me like, what would you list it as? Number 1, never give them a pinpoint number, okay? Give them a price range, okay? And right now in our market, all the price ranges are pushing up because the market's demanding that, okay? And so for me, I would give them probably, depending on the price of the home, a 5 or 10K window to be able to price it in, 270 to 280. Give them that window. Obviously, if you're getting into luxury, it's a little bit more subjective, but you can still give a comparable window. Instead of 270 to 280, maybe it's 1.8 to 2 million. If you're in that window. So, but I try and present to them the most accurate information with the comps as well. I tell them, hey, we need to price it at or slightly above market value. Here are the comps that are most similar to your properties that have sold in the last 6 months. These are real numbers, okay? I'm not making these up. Now, here's what you can do. You can filter those results before you present them. Okay, so if they're the raccoons living in the attic, okay, find other comps that look like they may have had raccoons living in the attic, so that way you can present apples to apples. Does that make sense? Okay, don't present, if you're in a 50-year-old home and it's never been updated, don't present them the one that's been fully updated and looks like a brand new house. Those aren't the same home. Okay, so present them apples to apples. And if they say, well, that one sold for 50K more than what you want to sell. Yes, let me show you that home. I'd be glad to show you that home. Okay, here are the pictures. Boom, 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 boom. Do you see that it has these things? Okay, versus your house still has Berber carpet, okay, or shag carpet. So those are very different things. And look, also make the case to them, I would love to sell your house for more money. Okay, I'm commission based. I make more based on us selling the house for more. But if we price it too high, we'll have 0 showings and we'll have 0 offers. We got to get this sold. I want to get this sold for you. Okay. Yeah, Ruben. Yeah, so in the email that I send to them, the CMA that I pull, it's just the single line, the agent single line display that we see. I don't give them 10 pages of CMA that an appraiser is going to look at. Okay, so yes, I do email that to them in advance. I also bring a printed copy of that with me to the appointments. Okay, awesome, great questions, guys. Thank you. Keep them coming. I love it. All right, I talked to them about curb appeal a little bit in this, and I don't know how many of you guys saw, I did a video about 3 months ago about an article about renovations, updates, and their return on investment. And honestly, the return on investment for exterior renovations is significantly higher than interior. Okay, so that's that article that was done, I want to say by remodeling.com. If you present that information, I think that could go really far for you as well in terms of making the case for increase your curb appeal. Okay, and really trimming the shrubs, mowing the lawn, and throwing down fresh mulch is not that expensive. Okay, you can pay a lawn guy to do that for $100. Okay, so I think that's important. Okay, I go through 11 tips for preparing to sell your home. And if you want to look through this in more detail, like I said, it's one of the listing attachments that you'll get access to at the ends. Okay, why should you use a realtor? Okay, that's important. Well, I don't want to pay your commission. Okay, that's fine. I'll list it for 6% higher than what you feel comfortable for getting. That pays me. Are you happy with that? Okay, cool. Code of ethics. That's not a staged phone call. Working with your realtor, because really you guys are a team. Okay, you and your client, you're a team to work together to getting the house sold. Okay, there's a lot of information here that you don't have time to present at the listing appointment. Okay, but there's also a lot of critical information. I'd probably say that there's more critical information here than there's going to be in that listing appointment that you go to. Okay, so them reading through this and taking the time to read through this is super, super important. Okay, marketing action plan. And sellers really like this. How do you stay safe while trying to sell your home at the same time. Sellers really like this slide, okay, or this page, because it's stuff that they don't think about. But I think there are items that out of our code of ethics, I think we're obligated to present to them. So that's good information. Let me get back to PowerPoint. Okay, cool. So that's why I do the pre-listing package. There's so much information in that I don't have time to present at the actual listing appointment. Okay, is everybody good with that? Okay, and I'm not saying that your pre-listing packet needs to look the same as mine. I know a lot of people that don't present the pre-listing packet and they still get the listing, and that's fine. But it's pre-active damage control, proactive damage control for the listing process to kind of prevent against arguments and that kind of stuff. All right, the pre-listing CMA, and Ruben, this goes to your question. Do I present to them a pre-listing CMA? Yes, okay. And this is what I present to them. I think it's a lot easier to see the data here. Maybe it's because I've looked at it so much, but I think it's easier to see the data here than it is in an 8-page CMA or a 10-page CMA, whatever you decide to present. Sure. So running a CMA, first off, I do limit it to first off the neighborhood. Okay, that's most important. And if it's a huge neighborhood, I try not to go across any major streets. Okay, so like a neighborhood like Cypresswood, a little bit farther south of here, it's a humongous neighborhood. Cypresswood runs right down the middle of it. Okay, and if it's on the south side, I'm going to present only the homes on the south side. Okay. One of the main reasons being is because a lot of those homes on the south side of Cypress were flooded. Okay, so I'm not going to present them a non-flooded home to a flooded home. Those aren't on the same pages. Okay, so I try and present homes that are most similar, apples to apples. Okay, and if it's 2 houses, cool. If it's 1 house, cool. If it's none, I try and get as close as possible. Okay, and that's like this CMA here, there's way too many houses. Okay, there's way too many. I probably wouldn't present them more than 4 or 5. Yeah, there's way too many here. So I would present them 4 or 5. And in particular, the house that I did this CMA for, this one, 21919, was an identical floor plan. And so I sent them this, and then at the listing appointment, I said, hey, you see this 21919? This is an identical floor plan with very similar finishings to your house. Okay, this is our ace in the hole. Our market value on this home is $247, but I'm willing to push it. Okay, we listed it for $255 and we got $255. Okay, so you can list it for a little bit higher. Ultimately, the house has to appraise. So that's another hurdle as well. Okay, have the data to support your appraisal as well. All right, preparing for the listing appointment. Okay, here's where I go through my folder. All right, in my folder, in online viewing audience, I'm going to try and show you this as well. I'm going to pass this around for everybody to see. So I've got a seller's guide, okay, that walks people through step-by-step process of getting your home listed. Isn't that the first thing on my agenda for my listing appointment? Yeah, okay, so I'm regurgitating something I've already created, okay? What's up? But what do you mean by copy and pasting? So what I'm doing on the comps with this CMA, I'm presenting this CMA. I'm presenting only this, the multiple line, where you can see the address. Obviously, you can see neighborhood, lot size, square footage, the year that it was built, bedrooms, bathrooms, days on market. I'm presenting this. Oh, this snippet. Yes, the snip tool. Yes, the snipping tool. Matt, guys, I don't know how you do that. Sorry. So going back to my folder, seller's guide. It's got my step-by-step process of going through from list to close. A little bit about this is what I do for you. Sellers really appreciate this, and full disclosure on a lot of this presentation. I've used a lot of the information from other people that do this very well. Okay, very, very well. And it's something that works, that's worked for me. Okay, so full disclosure, Michelle Eubanks, I stole this from you. Okay, so thank you, Michelle. This is the show ready home checklist. If you have an hour to prepare for a showing, these are the things that we do. If you have 10 minutes to prepare for a showing, these are the things that you do. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, so thank you, Michelle, for that information. And then on the back is info about me, which is also in the pre-listing packet. Okay, also in here, and let me get back to the slide for this. Nope. Okay, I'll have the same single line CMA, now a IABS in the folder, the listing agreement, a seller's disclosure. Okay, now while I'm at the listing appointment, I have them fill out the seller's disclosure while I'm there. Okay, because let's face it, the majority of our clients don't know what LP community means. Okay, but we sure do. Okay, so I have them fill this out while I'm at the listing appointment, while I'm going through and measuring all the bedrooms. So that gives them about 15, 20 minutes to fill this out. Okay, and then at the end, I ask them, are there any questions on vague stuff on here that I can help with? And most of them will ask me about the LP community and that kind of stuff that they're just not used to. Okay, so I have them fill that out at the appointments. Some other things that are a little bit unique to our team. We do have a supplemental exclusion list. I know, Abby, we have one in the folder, but I've put one together. I think this is a little bit more concise than the one that's up in Back Agent. So I've got a supplemental exclusion list. Something else that I like to include is, this is what we love about our home. Okay, and look, here's my secret on this. I am not a creative writer. Okay, we're very fortunate on our team that we have Tom that is a creative writer. Tom Waddell, creative writer. He's awesome. I'm not a creative writer. So for my clients, what I do, I have them fill out, this is what we love about the home. This is what we love about the community. Here's what our utilities are, okay? Here's who does our pool, so that way if something blows up between now and closing, you can call them, okay? Here's who maintains our lawn. Here's what day the trash runs. Here's where our mailboxes are located. Who else loves to see this? Buyers, absolutely, okay? So, hey, guess what? From these two top sections, this is what we love about the home. This is what we love about the community. I use that to write my public description, okay? Buyers or sellers love to have a part in the process, okay? And I tell them, hey, straight up, what you put here, I'm gonna copy and paste it and use it in the public description. So how well do you want your home described? Okay, and they love, like, oh, I get to write this, it's cool. Some of them love it, some of them hate it. But this is unique for our team. Full disclosure, I stole this from the Loken group. Okay, I'm just being honest, okay? And then for us, I also have a transaction management sheet. This is also up in Back Agent. This is Abby's transaction management sheet. I just slap our logo on the top of it. And I tell them, hey, once we get a contract, these are all the steps that we're going to go through. Here's the order of the steps that we're going to go through. And weekly, once we get a contract, I call them, hey, go ahead and get out your transaction management sheet. Let's walk through what's about to happen. Okay, so I take them through this. Okay, so I'm going to pass these around so that way you guys can see all this stuff. The stuff that is, the items in here that are specific for our team, I've included those attachments to be able to see them. I didn't include an IABS or a seller's disclosure because you can do that stuff. So if y'all want to check this. Guys, after the meeting. Okay, now here's another thing that I prepare. Sorry, the voice is running thin. For the listing, for every single listing, I have a showing binder. Okay, full disclosure, I stole this from Frank Gray. Okay. So and I know that Frank does this did this in his personal business, because the first house that I ever held open was one of his listings. Okay. And so I went into the listing and I saw the binder and I flipped through it and I'm like, this is genius. So what I include, and I show them this listing binder on every listing appointment, I tell them this is going to be in your house. Okay. And I walk them through the listing binder. Okay. The front looks flashy, which they like. Guess what? Their home info sheet, that goes in there. Okay. And then I go through for every property, I make a listing flyer. I did this through Back Agent. There's a ton of resources out there for you guys to be able to do this. I know Canva is really good for that stuff. Breakthrough Broker is another free resource that their flyers and that kind of stuff, they look top notch. They look super, super professional. I know that there's a lot of different venues to make listing flyers. For me, this is pretty basic, but I think basic is fine because there's so much other info to sort through. Okay. Also in here, I'll put the full detail sheet, and I also include the detail sheet with and the home info sheet with packets that potential buyers can take away with them. Okay, I think that's important. In here, I also put the seller's disclosure notice, because agents, when we get into the home, what do we want to see? The seller's disclosure notice, absolutely, okay? And then I put a full CMA in here, okay? Now, for me, this is one of my steps for time efficiency, okay? Because what I don't want to have to do, if I've got a listing in Pasadena and I live up here in the Woodlands, I don't want to have to run to Pasadena to drop off a CMA for the appraiser. Okay, so what I do, I put the CMA into the binder, and when it's time for the appraisal appointment, I tell my seller, hey, I need a huge favor. Could you please take the CMA out of the folder and leave it on the kitchen counter for the appraiser to take with them? Okay, that saves me 2 hours of time not having to make that trip. Okay, and to the seller, just like, yeah, sure, that's easy. Okay, so I put a full CMA for the appraiser. Now, if your listing has been on the market for longer, you do need to update your CMA for the appraiser at the appointment. So I had a listing down by NRG. It was a great house in the middle of the hood that it took 4 months to sell. Before the appraiser came down, I did a fresh CMA and dropped it by the property. If your client has the capability to be able to print it, you can send them that and ask them to print it as well, okay? But full CMA in here. And then in the back, I've got offer instructions for agents, okay? Which a lot of times they don't read, but they should, so I don't have to fix their mistakes. And then the supplemental exclusion list, which I know agents like to see as well. It's like, yeah, I know you really like that mirror, but it's going with the sellers. Okay, so those are the items that I include in the listing binder. And for me, this is a binder, like I have several binders. This one never changes because this is the one that I bring with me to every listing appointment. Okay, also in this binder, I like to bring with me other examples of listing flyers. An example of the listing handout that buyers can take away with them, which is the flyer, the home info sheets, and then the display with all the information. Buyers love that, okay? And then finally, I do show to all of my sellers, hey, I'm gonna make this for you, okay? This is a sheet that has some of the family info, like, hey, thank you for viewing our home. Please wear a mask and please use hand sanitizer for concerns of our small children with COVID right now. The only reason we're selling our home is because we've outgrown it. Many times buyers, that's one of the first questions they ask. Why are they moving? Well, this tells why, okay? So having that out, I think is really important. Cool, I'm gonna pass the listing binder around. Some of the documents, once again, that are specific for me and my team, those are going to be available in the Dropbox. Yes. Yeah, so that's an awesome question. The question for our online viewing audience, do you ever put information in the binder for the updates that the sellers have done? If it's a significant amount of updates, absolutely. Okay. And for appraisers as well, I like to provide that if it's a house that I'm worried about appraisal, that's something that I also include. I had a listing that closed in October in Missouri City. House was 50 years old, and all of the comps in the neighborhood showed 220. Okay, like dead on, 220 all day long. Okay, but what I did is I prepared a CMA. I did a full list of home upgrades, and the seller had spent like $83,000 doing upgrades and updates to the home, like significant. He bought the house for like 130. Okay, so he wasn't upside down, but he did a significant amount of work on the home. I presented those updates and upgrades to the appraiser as well. And I guess they took those into consideration because we made value at 241, even though the highest sold comp in the neighborhood showed 220. Okay, so that's another thing that we can talk about if we have time later. Okay, cool. So those are the things that I do to prepare for the listing. Okay, do all of those items that I just showed you, does that show you as the listing agent to have gone above and beyond? Yeah, absolutely. That's not something that the average agent does. Okay, and I think for me, showing that I go above and beyond is a key component in winning listings when you're competing against Morgan's cousin, who's also a realtor. Okay. All right. So now we're at the appointment. Okay. Here's what you do. Okay. First off, when you walk in the door, nowadays I would wear a mask. Okay. Wear a mask until they tell you can't. Okay. But ask them first off to give you a home tour. Okay, so that way you can really see how much work needs to be done prior to listing. You can see the entire home. You need to see the entire home. So that way you know how much work they have to do prior to listing. And look, let's be honest, one of the biggest things that people need to do prior to listing is declutter and clean their home. Okay, I encourage my listing clients like, hey, this is hard. Throw everything in a box. Throw the box in a garage. It's fine, okay? Because how many houses, when we've been out showing, do you walk into and it seems like nobody's living there, but then you open the garage and it's floor to ceiling, like all the time, right? Okay, so I tell them that's okay. We see that all the time. Do that, okay? But get rid of stuff and declutter. Okay, at the kitchen table, all right? Once you've seen the home, sit down with them at the kitchen table. Okay, and then ask them, do you have any questions about the attachments from my email? This right here will tell you, no, we read through it in full, we're good. Or, yeah, you know, you kind of have to feel out the answer. If they didn't read through your pre-listing packet, it's going to be a longer listing appointment. Prepare for that because you need to tell them in more detail about listing the home at an appropriate price, okay? So make sure that they've looked through those attachments. Really important, okay? Then from here, walk them through the step-by-step process of selling the home. Guess what? That's in my seller's guide. I've already done that. Gives me a chance to present the seller's guide, okay? Walk them through your marketing plan. Even if they've read the pre-listing packet, there's two things that I would absolutely cover from the pre-listing packet. That's your marketing plan and pricing. Okay, those are the two things that I would absolutely still touch on. Walk them through the paperwork in the folder, and really of the listing appointment, if they've done their homework and read through your pre-listing packet, walking them through the IABS and listing agreement, seller's disclosure, maybe the MUD notice, those kind of things. I try and get all of that stuff done up front. Okay, that's what should take the majority of the time for your listing appointments. Okay, if they've done their homework, it's possible for you to get in and out of that listing appointment in half an hour. Okay, and then from here, once you've gone through all the paperwork, have them fill out the seller's disclosure notice while you're at the house, home info sheet, and the supplemental exclusion. okay? Have them fill all of that out while you're measuring the bedrooms and really getting a closer look at the house, okay? That'll buy you some time, and for you getting that info of what's in the house is really, really important, okay? And then finally, before you leave the appointment, find out what your client's preferred method of communication is. This day and age, I think it's absolutely text, okay? Having said that, I don't type out novels to my clients, okay? If it's a long conversation, I will call them. I just find a time that works for them. Now, for your seller's disclosure notice, while you are at the home, it's better for you to tell your clients, hey, if there's any minor repairs, any repairs that have happened in the past, even if they're done and haven't been a problem, disclose them. Because what you don't want is for the future buyer to then have a problem with the house and say, oh, well, this leak was not disclosed. Now you can be sued for non-disclosure. Okay, so it's really, really important for your sellers to tell them, hey, if you need more room, that's fine. We can do that. Okay, if you had a roof leak, tell them what happened. Okay, but it's better to over disclose than under disclose for sure. Okay, now for me, for every house that I list, I start a note on my phone. Okay, and Android people, I don't know how to do this, but this is for iPhone people. I start a note for every single home. This is where I put my measurements, and then I create this. This is my showing info. Let's be honest, how many times have we requested a showing and not really looked in showing time to see what the details of the home are to be able to show it, right? Okay, I send this on a text replacement to every single showing agent, okay? Now I'm gonna show you how to do this in just a little bit, okay? But hey, this is Ryan Barker. I'm the listing agent for whatever property. Thank you for showing. Super on the front door. There's a combo locks on the side of the house in case the super has any issues. Here's the combo. The seller's asking for all people coming through the home to wear a mask and use hand sanitizer, which right now, that is not an unreasonable ask, okay? And I think it's okay to ask that of buyer's agents and of buyers, all right? So they're asking you to do that. The seller welcomes your client's feedback and in hopes that you will make an offer. Thank you so much for showing. This takes me 2 seconds to send, literally 2 seconds to send, okay? So I'm gonna show you how to do that on a text replacement in just an appointment, in just a minute, okay? So as I'm going through measuring rooms, put the measurements into a note, okay? Next thing, wrapping up the appointment. I always like to do a walkthrough video of the home. And in particular, the walkthrough video, I'm describing the characteristics of the home that are all of the click boxes that can be found in Matrix when you're uploading the listing. Okay, let's be honest, we see homes all the time. Okay, we see homes all the time, and it's really easy to forget where there are gas dryer connections. Okay, so here is what I do. This is not a hyperlink. Here's what I do, and sorry, Lisa, I'm getting into your browser on my walkthrough video. Check it out. Does it sound like a public description yet? Sorry about the heavy mouth breathing. Sorry. I don't know if it's subway tile or not. Full disclosure. Yes. That's a nice way of saying small. Sorry, online audience, just a little bit longer. Types of flooring, that's a box that you have to check in Matrix. That's important for your measurements. And when you have pictures, lining up your pictures with the correct measurements on the listing. So that's what I do in my video walkthrough. I talk myself through the listing with the check boxes that I have to do, okay? From here, I determine a date with the seller. Hey, when can you have the house cleaned? So that way we can get this taken care of. I always want the house cleaned immediately prior to picture. So if they're cleaning on Wednesday, my photographer's out there on Thursday, okay? You want to photograph the home at its absolute best, okay? I also pay for every single photographer or every single home that I have pictures done. I pay for that photography. It's the best $150 that you can do of marketing. Absolutely, okay? iPhone photos, don't do it. Unless it's a lease, use that, okay? But, and I say that just because leases, you don't make much money, okay? So use your phone photos for leases, but for every other listing that you're selling, get professional photography done. It's a great expense, okay? Before you leave, collect these documents: the seller's disclosure, a home info sheet, supplemental exclusion, the survey and T47. In my initial email, I asked them to have a survey ready for me to take. Okay, that was with the 2 house keys. Mud notice and any other addendums that you need to have up front, okay? Put a lockbox on the side of the house. Put a key in the Supra, but don't put the Supra on the front door. Why not? Yeah, pictures. Supras, although they're very functional, they're hideous. They look terrible in pictures, okay? Don't photograph the Supra on the front door, okay? Now, my photographer that I use, he will put the sign in the yard for me and he'll put the Supra on the front door, okay? So what I do is I put the Supra just inside the front door. I put my sign in the front yard, but I pull it, or the photographer pulls it for pictures, okay? Because you're not supposed to have any contact info on any pictures. And the white post, the angle iron that you put in before you put the post over it, my photographer just photoshops that, so that way you don't see the angle iron, okay? But I put the sign in the yard before I leave the listing, okay? So now, the next time that I have to come back out to the home, it's to bring them the listing binder. Does that make sense? Okay. So really the trips that I have to make out to the house are the initial listing appointment and the initial listing binder. That's it. Is everybody good with that? Maximum efficiency. Okay. For me, My business is all over town. A huge part of my network is Clear Lake in Pasadena because that's where I grew up. I live here in the Woodlands or Oak Ridge area, okay? So I spend a lot of time on the road. So if I can maximize my time and make less trips down there, I'm going to do that. Okay, that's really important for me, okay? So after the appointment, and once you know when they're gonna have the house cleaned, call the photographer, book the appointments, okay? Day after pictures is what you want, okay? Send a text to the sellers confirming all of the appointments. Hey, when do you have the cleaning crew scheduled for? Just so I can get the photographer scheduled, and then confirm the picture appointment. Now, I encourage my sellers to be present for the photographs, okay? Why? Why do you think that is? Because sellers know what's important in the home, okay? Some sellers are very particular and they want all 4 angles of the kitchen island taken, okay? Which is stupid, but I've known somebody like that wanted all 4 angles of the kitchen island photographed, okay? So have the sellers at the photography appointments. Okay, I think that's really important so that the photographer captures the things in the home that the sellers think are important. Okay, to you, they may not be. Okay, but in the grand scheme of things, it's not about you, it's about them. As all of the agents earlier said, it's not about you, it's about the client. Okay, some of the pieces of paper that we've gone through, I'll send for e-signatures if it's stuff that I've missed, like the IABS, listing appointment, mud notice, or any lead-based paint addendum. Usually that's not one that I present up front, but send those for e-signatures. Once the listing agreement is signed, I don't start uploading the listing until listing agreement is signed, okay? Because that's really where the rubber hits the road. All right, and then once you've got everything in, before the listing goes live, I save the agent view, a PDF of the agent view. It says incomplete at the top rather than active. Save that, send it to the seller. I need you to look over this for accuracy's sake before the listing goes live. Okay, once again, accuracy is key. Accuracy avoids lawsuits, and I'm sure Frank is all about it. Okay, awesome, cool. Now, once the listing goes live, for me, I like to put way too many listing attachments. I like to do the other agent's job for them just a little bit for the reason of I don't want to deal with cleaning up their mess later, okay? And so for me, here are all of the listing attachments that I include, if I can, when I'm uploading the listing. Survey T47, the home info sheet, supplemental exclusion list, seller's disclosure, mud notice, lead-based paint, offer instructions, most important, because that tells you how to fill out page 9 of the contract, and finally home updates or upgrades, okay? Those are all of, and that's a lot of work up front. Let's be honest, it's a lot of work up front, but it's important, okay? Next thing, are pictures worth 1,000 words? Well, if it's a picture like this, yes, it is, okay? But if the entire house is painted gray and all of the bedrooms are vacant, well, look at this vacant room and look at these gray walls. Like, what am I looking at? Okay, so I think putting in photo descriptions on every single photo is essential, even if it's, here's the second view of bedroom number 2. Okay, I think that's really important. Go the extra mile for your clients. They're paying you, they deserve your best. Okay, putting that out there. Now, once again, as you're uploading the listing, accuracy is critical. Check the boxes accurately. Use accurate photo descriptions. What you don't want to do is put in a description, new water heater, and then when your buyer gets an inspection, you find out done, you find out that the water heater is 18 years old. Okay, true story. This happened for me when I bought my house in Imperial Oaks. They said it was new water heaters, 2 new water heaters, and they were 18 years old. We found out on the inspection report. So I went to the agent, said, I expect new water heaters to be installed, or at least an allowance to be able to do that. They made the allowance, okay? So accuracy is really, really important. Once again, avoid lawsuits with accuracy. All right, listing goes live. What do you do now? Okay, make your listing binder, make your listing handouts that you've seen in the folder. Okay, those listing handouts will be in the Dropbox folder at the end of the presentation. Okay, follow your marketing action plan that you have in your pre-listing presentation. Your pre-listing info packet, your marketing action plan. This is what you do in the first 24 hours. It's all there, okay? Follow the steps that you've put in place for yourself, okay? Just do what you say you're going to do, all right? And if you think that the house is gonna be a tough sell and that it's gonna be, if it's a unique property and you need to get more eyes on it, do a KV Core property boost. That is a cheap and easy way to get Facebook ads running for your property. It's free leads, and see if you can make that happen. Okay, so do the KV Core property boost. Now, ideally within the first 2 weeks of your house going live, you want to get as many eyes on it. So do as many open houses that weekend as possible. Okay, I saw this meme on social media this morning. I texted it to Frank. Hey, Frank, is this appropriate? He didn't respond, so I put it in. Okay? But within the first weekend of the house being live, you want as many eyes on the property as possible. Post open houses. Find opportunities for the house to be open so that way buyers can see it. Okay? For me, how do I set up showings? Okay? How do I approve showings? How does that system work for me? The same listing I was talking about earlier in Missouri City, it was a really attractive house because the seller had made 84 grand worth of updates on it. And so for that house in particular, the showing request, like it was booked all day, every day. And so we accepted a contract. So for me, that was the last time that I exclusively accepted the showing requests and then sent them over to my seller. After that, I've always allowed showing requests to go to the seller and let them approve or decline the request. Okay, I of course do include myself on both the can confirms. That way I know that they've gotten the request, but also once they've confirmed the request, right? I include myself on all of that communication, but I let those requests go straight to the seller. So that way I don't have to be in the middle, especially right now, as crazy as the market is. Don't be in the middle of that. You don't have time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Next thing, text replacement. For me, once my seller has approved the appointment, I send this message, and this is what I showed earlier, okay? Hey, this is me. Thanks for showing. There's a Supra. Wear a mask. Give me an offer, okay? So I compile that, and what I do, I put it into a text replacement into my phone. So those of you that are iPhone users, this is how you do that, okay? Settings, then go to your general, keyboard, and then go text replacement, and then the top right, it's got the plus sign, okay? From there, then it gives you 2 blanks. The phrase that you see here, that's what you put in the top, and then the bottom is the shortcut. So for this home in particular, the shortcut was CHAP. So every time I program into my phone CHAP, that entire message populates. Boom. I've got the showing info, I send it out. That's how it takes me 2 seconds to send showing info to an agent that really doesn't check their showing time, myself included, okay, and unless I have to. So that is that's a hack for your business. Thanks, Blythe. That's a hack for your business that you should use, the text replacement. I know Android has a way to do that. I don't have any clue how. I put all of my hashtags as text replacement. So that way I can go ABB and hashtag Abbey Realty pops up. HRT is hashtag the home run team. Okay. All of those things are text replacements that are critical for the efficiency of your business. Okay. That's really, really important. So we have a bunch of showing traffic. As we get showing feedback, I just screenshot it and send the screenshot over to my seller, just so they know. Okay. And obviously, if somebody says, we're thinking about putting in an offer, I call that agent immediately and say, How can I help? What additional information can I give you to change your client's mind? And we're moving forward with an offer. Okay. Even nowadays, when as the market's crazy, I still do that. Let's face it, multiple offers is a huge win. Getting multiple offers is a huge win for our clients. Okay. Once an agent reaches out to me to get title info, here's what I do. I've got my preferred, this is the title officer that I like to do a lot of business with. I know that we can't say that title is negotiable. If I pigeonhole, we're paying for the title policy, it's our person, like, you can't do that. Okay, I saw your video, Frank. Shrek will come and get us for that. Okay, so we like to, a lot of times buyer's agent will reach out to you. Hey, here's your preferred title. We send this. I always leave it up to the buyer or the seller to say, hey, yes, do that. Okay, so I share this, and then hopefully we get a bunch of offers. And then here's a couple of other tips that I tell my sellers. Encourage your sellers to allow as many showing appointments as possible. Nowadays, as the market is crazy, in showing time, I've limited the showing window to 30 minutes. Okay, agents need to hit that timeline on the head. They don't need to be in the home longer than 30 minutes, but they need to be on time. Because if you've got a listing that's priced at 170, you will have showings set up 30 minutes all day long. I promise you. It just happened to me. Okay, so limit your showing windows and encourage your sellers to approve as many appointments as possible. When other agents communicate with you, and I know this is like mind blown, communicate back. Okay, that's a part of your code of ethics to communicate. That's a part of your IABS. Okay, communicate back with other agents. Okay, when offers come in, I immediately confirm offer received with the buyer's agent. Okay, and then I forward it to the seller immediately. If I can talk them through it right then, I do. If not, I tell them, hey, let's talk this evening, and I'd love to talk you through this offer and what all of this means. Okay. But that way you're compliant with Shrek, that you're not withholding any offers. Even if the offer is some cash investor buyer that's 60K below market value, okay, I forward the good, bad, and the ugly, because you have to. You're obligated to, unless you have in writing from your sellers, don't send me any trash offers, okay, or over a specific dollar amount. Okay, then when the offer comes in, execute it within 24 hours, okay? Now, nowadays, with the market being crazy, the listing goes live on a Wednesday, and I've got offers on Thursday and Friday, even if we're like, that's where we want to finish. I encourage my sellers, hey, let's let the listing stay live through the weekend to see if we can generate more offers. Sunday morning, I'll send out the email to all the showings that are set up for Sunday as well. Everybody that's shown the property or has submitted an offer. Hey, and I send this out through showing time and also email. We've received multiple offers. Please submit your client's highest and best by whatever deadline your sellers put in place. Okay, even if on the first day that the listing goes live, if you want to leave it live through the weekend, that's fine. Just tell that buyer's agent, thank you for your offer. The seller wants to leave the listing live through the weekend. We will be in touch. Okay, communicate that to them. That's really professional etiquette. Yes, agreed.
Legal agreement. Another thing is to give us time. Don't let your seller make a decision before that time. That they have to make a decision and you have to give them information.
Cool. So for our online viewing audience, Daiquiri, thank you for that. Daiquiri just mentioned, like, don't put the deadline in MLS because that's a legally binding time. Is that correct? Yeah. So don't put multiple offers received. Well, you can put multiple offers received, but don't put the deadline highest and best buy law. Okay. Send that out via showing time. That's the appropriate place to do that. Okay. Thank you, Daiquiri. Are there any other questions from our online audience, online viewing audience? Okay, cool. So this QR code, excuse me, this will take you to a Dropbox folder that has a lot of the attachments. It'll have every slide from today's presentation, and it'll also have many of the listing attachments that have been in the binders today. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. I like helping and serving and obviously teaching. I taught in the classroom full time for 12 years, and teaching realtors is easier than teaching high schoolers. So thank you guys for being awesome. So y'all take care. Lisa's gonna wrap for us real quick. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes.
Just here, Randy, and Zachary, and I missed another name, Jason, are going to be presenting to you guys real quick on some items they have. The folks here, you guys have lunch, and take about a 5-minute break, go grab lunch, and come back in, and we'll do a quick presentation. They're gonna knock it out real quick, and then you guys can head on out and go rock it the rest of the week, okay? Take a break, online too. We'll be back in like 5 minutes. Yeah, y'all can leave all your stuff here. They can see you. Whatever it is, you can stand right there.
I wish, unless you're doing new construction.
Oh, there it goes.
So for me, the people that so they're our team. Yeah. So those people that's kind of. Generate the doc and then show up. Yeah. Yeah, so that may be one of those. Yeah. And the thing is, like, you have to meet them in this case. You have to meet them where they are, absolutely. Otherwise, you're just gonna.
Exactly. Okay.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Ryan.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
I'll go out there to, we're working something.
Hi, all. Everybody have their lunch? All right. Thanks for being here today. I'm Dr. Dee. I'm in the Huntsville office. I'm having Realty as well. And I found out about this service from Jason a couple of weeks ago, and I think it'll be a huge benefit to yourself and also potentially your clients. It's something that you can purchase for them or tell them about, help them in their life. So I brought Randy here. He's an expert at the service and telling you about it. And he is also #1 out of 350. What? 350 people who sell this product. So he will be very informative and you can ask him anything. So thanks so much.
Thank you. Good to be here. There's 350,000 associates, not that it matters. You know what an expert is, somebody 20 miles from home is a briefcase. So I don't know that I really qualify as that. But anyway, it's good to be here. Have Jason with me. Dacre is one of our new associates here. She saw the program that we offer and thought that it might be beneficial to each of you as realtors. We do a lot of work with businesses to help to grow your business, empower you there. So we're going to spend, I'm going to go very quickly because I know you've been in here for training, you've got other things to do, and there's probably a lot of things you would rather do sit here and listen to me, but I hope you'll pay attention because the things that we're going to do, I think, really will be of value to you and your business. And so just a little bit about us. Legal Shield's been around for almost 50 years, and what we do is actually protect and empower both you as a family, you're with your family, the families that you work with, and your business there. We've been a pioneer in providing legal plans there for almost 50 years, and we take a very straight, practical approach to it. If we lived in a perfect world, we wouldn't need legal services. If everybody was honest, if we lived in the time when people shook hands and your word was your bond, that obviously we know that's not the situation. We live in the most litigious society that ever existed. Who's suing people today? Everybody. For what? Anything. There's a website set up with frivolous lawsuits of all of the things that people sue from spilling coffee on themselves at McDonald's. We're all familiar with that. To, thousands and thousands of other things. The thief who was breaking into your house broke the window, cut his arm, and sued the homeowner and won. So those are the kind of things that we deal with. So we understand the importance and the value of legal services. In the real estate world, you actually are very familiar with that. I mean, you're governed by laws and regulations. Giving advice there is a no-no. You don't want to get in trouble about that. And so there's just a lot of red tape and things that you have to really be aware of as you conduct your business. Legal Shield has a suite of services that's going to help you to protect and grow your business, help protect and grow your family. And it's something that you're going to be able to add to the services that you offer to your clients. So all of the people that you're dealing with, they bought that new home, they have a family. There's things, legal needs that they're going to have getting their will done, help with traffic services, things of that nature. So it's an opportunity for you to have multiple touches with the client. Those of you that have been in sales understand how important that is. The more touches that you can have with your client, the stronger that relationship is there, and the better that business is going to be. So when they go to buy that second home, that third home, when your kids grow up and they're buying homes, those are things that you want to be involved with. And so if you not only sold them their home, but you helped them to with their estate planning, getting their will done, things of that nature, tax issues, then those are things that are going to make you more valuable in their sight. And that's the services that we offer here. And so quickly, we're going to kind of go through that. You have a team of lawyers. You're not just getting a lawyer. There are about 7,000 law firms all across the country, in every state in the country, all of Canada. Average age, 22 years of experience there. So these aren't new attorneys. These are AV-rated law firms. If you know anything about that, Dun & Bradstreet rates businesses. ABC, we understand what that is. Martindale Hubbard rates law firms. AV is the top rating that you can get. So the law firms that you're working with there are top rated law firms in every state in the country, all of Canada, and now in the UK. They provide services to you, including 24/7 access. Not everything bad happens in life Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. So in an emergency situation, we allow people to get a hold of their attorney and get help even in those situations. Why? People need legal coverage. Life is challenging. There are things that happen. And those things happen not because we're bad people, but because we live in a land of law. Everything we do involves the law. When we get up in the morning, we turn the light switch on. There's utility laws. When we drive down the road, there's traffic laws. There's estate planning laws. There's business law, contracts, all of those things. So this is something that's just a part of life. And we're not experts in any of those, all of those areas, but we may have to deal with many of those areas in our life. So Legal Shield gives you access to that. And we've got a business model that gives you coverage without worrying about the high hourly rates. Average price of an attorney, $350 an hour. So think about the average American, how many hours they have to work to pay for 1 hour of one attorney's time. And I've never seen an attorney get anything done in 1 hour. And so that kind of gives you an understanding of what we're offering here. And so once you've got this in place, it allows you to go through life and really live life worry-free. Knowing that if anything happens, is you have access, if you have a question, you have issues that come up, you have access to the legal system without worrying about those high hourly rates there. So an opportunity here to help CNET to grow your business as we go on this journey of building our businesses together there. So disruptive innovation, that's kind of a new term, been out for the last few years. What does that mean? Well, remember shopping at the mall? Now, some of you women still may go to the mall. I haven't been to the mall in about 3 years. So just the other day, my wife bought me an iWatch or an Apple Watch, and I had to go down to the mall to pick it up. First time I've been in there in 3 or 4 years. Why? We don't do that. We do online shopping, and especially this year, that has become very important. With COVID and everything, we've really got to be concerned about that. And so that's innovation, disruptive. We've disrupted a business model. So used to this time of year, the mall was crammed full of people. Everybody's doing their Christmas shopping. Amazon's loving what's going on right now because their business is exploding. That's a disruptive innovation there. How about buying CDs? As I look around the room, most of you aren't probably old enough. I remember before the CDs, I had an 8-track player in my car. Remember that? Yeah. And then we went to cassettes and we thought, man, we are cool. You know, we got that cassette and now we've got CDs, you know, but who has CDs? You know, used to you see people put their visor down and there were all those CDs lined up in it. They're gone. How come? Because what do we have now? Amazon. And there's all different kinds of programs, apps you can get on your phone, Pandora, different things like that, where it's right there. That's a disruptive. It's a disruptive innovation. It's more efficient, cheaper. Remember when you were a kid or when you as parents, maybe you took your children to Friday night, you'd go to where? Blockbuster. Pick out one movie, kids, and then dad or mom was supposed to take it back on Monday morning, and you threw it in the truck and drove around with it for 2 days and forgot. Then when you got to Blockbuster, what'd they do? Charge you a late fee. Remember that? And then they found out that the kids didn't rewind the movie, so there was a rewind fee. Where's Blockbuster today? Almost out of business. Somebody told me the other day there's one in Alaska. You know, how come? We have it right here. What do? We tap the app and we have access to unlimited movies, no late fees, no rewind fees. Remember we used to, when you traveled, what did we do? Well, we would get off that plane, we would call a taxi, a cab. What do we do now? Tap the app. We have Uber or Lyft. Those are disruptive innovators. And so that's what we're talking about here. And so what about access to the justice system? Used to, if you wanted access to an attorney, what do? We get the yellow pages out. We've gone through the yellow pages, you know, and all those, the largest area in the whole yellow pages is attorneys. We look at those big ads and we would think, well, do I call a big ad? Because he must really be a successful attorney if he can afford to have that ad. Or do we call the smaller ad because, hey, maybe they'll be more affordable? What do we do now? Tap the app. That's what we're talking about. That's a disruptive innovator. And so we can tap the app and we can have access to the judicial system there. And so that's what we're talking about when we talk about Legal Shield and ID Shield here. And all of that's available right there. What's our vision? We want every American to have equal access to the law. Now, we claim in America that we have equal access. Matter of fact, on the east side of the Supreme Court building, it says equal justice for all. But do we really? The color of justice is green. The person with the most green is going to get the most justice. And so Legal Shield started really for that purpose, so that every American would have access to the legal system that we deserve. Here's a picture of our home office there. Been established, been around for about 50 years now. We cover you in every state in the country, all of Canada. Dedicated law firms. We've been featured in all the major news networks. Matter of fact, the Better Business Bureau, Houston Better Business Bureau is a client of mine. We take care of all their employee benefits. They're pretty good testimony when the Better Business Bureau is offering this as an employee benefit to all of their clients there. How about you? Have you ever maybe needed to sign a contract, had a landlord-tenant issue there, been overcharged or treated unfairly? You know, we've all felt that way. Maybe you tried to return a defective product, been a victim of identity theft, had a real estate transaction. I guess everybody here could probably say yes to that, you know, or maybe just need to get your will updated. You know, those are all legal issues. And like I said before, not because we're bad people, because we live in a land of law. Everything we do involves the law. Well, Legal Shield gives you access without worrying about those high hourly rates. So here, right before Thanksgiving, one of my clients called me up. They said, hey, Wells, I used my Legal Shield membership. I said, great, what happened? He had a small business. We were protecting the business. Well, in that business, he had a cell phone plan, had about 5 different phones on it for his business. And he also had put his children on there, kind of get those group rates, you know. He said, it seemed a little bit high. I began to do an audit on it, found out they had been charging me $25 a month for 90 months for a line that he didn't ask for, wasn't using. So we called up AT&T, pointed it out to them. They looked at it and said, you're right. We made a mistake. We're going to take that off your bill right now. He said, what about the last 90 months? He said, well, it's not our job to audit your bill. You should have caught that. He didn't feel that was fair. So he remembered he had Legal Shield, so he picked up the phone and called his attorney. Biometric login, fingerprint, looking at the phone there with your face, and immediately you have access to all of those things. When he talked to the attorney said, no, if it was their fault, they have to refund that money. They said, let's write a motivational letter, because one of the benefits that we have is writing letters and making phone calls there. And so they wrote a motivational letter to AT&T. He sent me a screenshot of his next bill, credit $2,250. Now, could you or I do that? No, because when we write a letter, where does it go? Customer service. What do they do with it? They put it in the trash over here. When an attorney writes a letter, it goes to the legal department. And when the legal department gets involved, that's when things get done. So that's the value of having access to an attorney there. Reviewing contracts and documents, that's something you guys are very familiar with. It's part of your business. You can't give advice. Imagine having a service where if one of your clients had a question, you were able to pick up that phone and call your attorney and talk to an attorney about that, or to share that service with them so they would be able to get those answers. That's valuable there. You get audited by the IRS. You all are 1099 employees. We have tax issues there. Should we incorporate my business? Not incorporate? What kind of corporation? Incorporation, those are questions that we may not be experts at, but you have access to your tax attorney to find out how to structure that. If you're sued for anything, we wouldn't think, as a realtor, that's something we have to, but it is. People get upset, you didn't do things right, and realtors get sued quite often there, and there are issues. If you're sued for anything, we could pull out here today, have a car wreck, and somebody sue you. When that takes place, you're covered. You're protected from those lawsuits there. $350 an hour, you begin to look at $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 in that lawsuit, plus all the legal fees and everything involved. Family domestic services are covered, uncontested divorce, adoption, name change. Would you like to set up a trust for your children? That's all part of the membership. You have access, you can upload those documents like your will, things of that nature there. When we do that, you just upload it right there from your computer, from your cell phone. We promise you, for instance, you get a traffic ticket. My most recent one was not far from here, Shenandoah, and I have been caught there. So guy on a motorcycle, I was on the feeder road. He got a little upset that I was doing 64 in a 45-mile-an-hour zone. So he wrote me a ticket. As soon as he got back on his motorcycle and left, I took a picture of that ticket, uploaded it to the law firm. 2 hours later, I got a call from the law firm. Mr. Wells, would you like to go to court with us, or you want us to take care of this? Heck no, I don't want to go to traffic court. We'll take care of it. What they do, they're going to get deferred adjudication. What they actually did, this situation was postponed that trial for about 6 months. Finally, when it come to trial, guess who didn't show up? The officer. Guess what the judge did? Dismiss. Now, most of the time, I'll pay $50, $75 court costs, no points on my record. That's what we're concerned about. Those of you who have drivers, teenage drivers, your insurance is high enough. It isn't the cost of the ticket, it's what it's going to do to your insurance for the next 3 years. So they keep those points off your record. That's what's really important there. Emergency access, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can pick up the phone and get a hold of your attorney. And I don't want you to raise your hands. It's something that's private, but I understand the real estate business is, you all are familiar, it's considered a high-risk occupation by the federal government. I have a really soft spot in my heart. I'm a retired federal agent. One of the other businesses I have is we do handgun training, things of that nature. We do a lot of work with realtors. When I was 14, I came home from school with a buddy of mine. His dad was waiting on him. We were going to play basketball at his house. He called him in the house, sat him down. His mother was murdered on the shoulder. So there's a really soft spot. So I actually have a continuing education program through TREC where we come in and talk about how to operate your real estate business safely. We're going to talk about how to show that house safely. So this is something that's really important. That if you have that handgun license and you have to use your weapon in defense of your life or somebody else, you're protected from that. That's really important there, because of this, the laws, you could win the gunfight and lose everything you own for. And so that's why this is so valuable. Maybe you were out showing over the weekend and you had a car wreck and they will want you to sign some documents there. Hey, don't sign those without talking to your attorney. You know, those are things that you want to make sure you're covered there. All of that's available right there in the remote control of your life. Getting your will done. 8 out of 10 of you sitting in here don't have an up-to-date will. You know who you want to raise your children. You know, do you realize if you don't have your paperwork in order, the state of Texas is going to come in and decide? If something happens to me and my wife, we're not rich, but when you live 64 years, you accumulate stuff. You know, I want my stuff to go to my family. If I don't have that paperwork, your estate documents, your will, living will, power of attorney, then the state of Texas is going to come in, they're going to decide. How important is it? Health power of attorney, healthcare power of attorney right now. COVID, you need an advocate on your side, somebody looking out for your rights. I had 2 of my sons play football in college. We're in North Dakota. My son got a concussion. They hauled him off in an ambulance. It took us a while to get to the hospital because we had flown there. We had to get a ride. When we got there, they wouldn't tell us anything. We didn't know what was going on because he was 20 years old. He's an adult. Okay, that's why that healthcare power of attorney. We're going to give you and your spouse or significant other your will, living will, healthcare power of attorney, durable, all of those documents that we know we need, but we never get around to getting for free. It's included in your membership. We update them every year for free. My degree's in finance. I'm a chartered financial consultant for a number of years. If you have a good financial planner, they're going to tell you you need to update your estate planning documents, including your will and everything, every 2 to 3 years. That's if all you did was just get that done right here, you just paid for your membership for 5 years. It's not costing you anything, that one use of it alone. In addition to that, discounts. We all like discounts. What's discounts? Anything not covered at 100%. Now, everything we just talked about is covered at 100% pretty much. What's not covered? A contested divorce, child custody battle. You're going to run back and forth to court for 2 or 3 years. They don't know how long that is, so that falls into the 25 to 40% discount. What if you were in an auto accident, the insurance company wasn't paying? You had to go on the offensive and sue them, or you got hurt on the job, or maybe you were a victim of medical malpractice. Anything you're going to go on the services for, it's going to fall into that 25 to 40% discount. But it's covered by the membership right there. Who's covered? You and your spouse or significant other, and all of your children till they're 26, as long as they're not married, living at home, or if they're off going to school somewhere, they're still covered, okay? And if you have any physically or mentally challenged children, they're going to be covered forever because they're always going to be dependent upon you. Now, my wife keeps trying to convince me that this is the portion of the contract that covers me. I'm not real sure what she means by that, but anyway, but remember I said in the beginning, we have a suite of services. We protect you from legal issues. We protect small businesses. We're going to protect your business as a realtor. But we also provide identity theft protection. I don't know if you're aware, identity theft is the #1 crime in America. It's a state crime, all right? If I robbed you, your home, steal your DVD, if I steal something from your house, I go sell it. After I spend that money, now I've got to go out and commit another robbery. If I steal your driver's license, your social security number, I can sit at home in my pajamas and sell that over and over and over again. It's the #1 crime. I dare say everybody in here has been affected by identity theft or somebody in their family has, okay? And once you've been a victim, it's something you continue to have issues with from then on because your identity's out there. They don't want your money. They want your social security number. They want your passport number. They want access to that non-public information there. That's what Legal Shield covers there. Unlimited consultation. You're going to be able to call, get help with what should I do to protect my identity, my children's identity. There will be monitoring and alerts. Anything unusual happens, you're going to be notified immediately by text. $1 million protection policy. I'll be honest with you, that doesn't mean anything because our policy is we're going to do whatever it takes as long as it takes to restore you to pre-theft status. If it takes more than $1 million, then that's what we're going to do. Full service restoration. Now, when I say that, we're the only company that does that. Wait a minute, I thought I hear LifeLock. They say they have what they're going to do and what every other company is going to do. They're going to send you a 1-800 number to do it yourself. Now you've got to spend the 200 to 300 hours to restore your identity. What we're gonna do is assign you a trained licensed investigator who is gonna go to work and they're gonna restore the identity for you, okay? You go on with your life doing what you're good at there, okay? So look, as when you begin to look at these, and these all are available right here. We're gonna monitor your credit score, that's important. It comes with one bureau monitoring. If you want, you can have all three bureaus. We're going to protect you on your passport, your social security number, driver's license. I don't know if you're familiar. I can go to Trader's Village today and get a driver's license or a social security card with your name and number on it for $50. Now I'm driving down the road under your driver's license and I get pulled over for burnout taillight. The officer says, no problem. Look, get the taillight fixed. You know, I'm just going to write you a warning. Let me go back and run your record, but I'm just going to write you a warning and get the taillight fixed. Well, when he comes back, he says, sir, would you step out of the car? Why? There's a warrant for your arrest in El Paso, Texas. I've never been to El Paso. For what? Failure to appear. So somebody stole your driver's license number, got a driver's license. They're driving under it. When they get that ticket, they're not going to pay it. I'll just go down to Trader's Village and get another ticket, another driver's license. That's cheaper than the ticket. And all of a sudden, you could lose your professional license. You could lose your concealed handgun license. There could be all kinds of legal ramifications as a result of that. So that's why most things we always think about financial. Financial is only about 17% of identity theft. All of these other things, your email, phone number, date of birth, medical ID. You go to the doctor's office, you see those colored files back there, all your personal non-public information's in there. That girl making $10 an hour at the office, and she can go make $100 every time she shares that with somebody. You see why you're at risk there. Your username, passwords, those are important things. The dark web, social media, we're gonna start monitoring all that, and we're actually gonna help you to make sure that you don't have any issues there. What about your 401k, loans? All of these things are covered there, and complete restoration. We're going to do whatever it takes as long as it takes to restore your identity, to create that status there. So you've got guidance in all of these things. What we're going to do is we look at this here. I'm going to kind of fast forward there. They're going to monitor your Facebook page. This is the big part. Social media, you know, our marketing programs do that. That's become really big over the last 8 to 10 months, right? But they're going to monitor, make sure there's not something up there that's going to cause you any issues. Your LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, and you're going to get a score based upon that. And based upon that, they're going to say, hey, here's some changes you need to make to protect non-public information. We put way too much information out on social media. Mother's maiden name, you're friends with your mother. Your mother has her maiden name so she can connect with all of her people from high school, right? I can go on your social media page and get the majority of the information I need to steal your identity. And that's where they're going to monitor and help you with all of that to make sure you're not at risk there. We have plans for you as an individual as we think about who's covered, you as a member, your spouse or significant other, all your children are protected from identity theft just till the age of 18. Once they're 18, they're an adult, and then they have to have their own membership there. Okay, all of that's available, the legal and the ID shield for the whole family for $33.90 a month, $1 a day. The price of the bottle of water is what we're talking about to protect you and the whole family. And in addition to that, there is no contract. This is month to month. You can stop anytime you're in, and we have never went up on an existing client in almost 50 years. Okay? And so this is something you get involved in. It's affordable. It's something that everybody needs. I want you to think about, you have a built-in reservoir of clients. You can share. So this is something that helps that relationship that you're building with your clients. When you talk to them, hey, you've got this beautiful new home. Now we need to protect it so that somebody doesn't compromise your identity, steal it, go get loans. I mean, there's companies set up now to protect that title right now. All the other things that go on. What about having your will done? You know, things of that nature, traffic tickets. So these are things that your clients, it's not something else you're going to go do if you decide to add this to your portfolio. but it's something that you help to build that relationship that you can do that provides a residual stream of income coming in. Because you get paid when you market a membership, you get paid next year when they renew it, and as you build that team, then you all get paid together. Over and over, you get overrides, just like an insurance broker or things of that nature, okay? You're an individual, $25.90 a month there. So when you look at it, you're looking at $18.95 for the legal plan, $14.95 for the identity theft, $16.95 for the legal plan, $8.95 if you're an individual, okay? How many of you go to $5? I mean, Starbucks, I go to $5. Go one time less a week. That's what we're talking about. It's not a financial decision. $1 a day, I waste that much money, for $1 a day. When I looked at this, I said, I've got health insurance to fix the broken bones. I have auto insurance to fix the dents in the car. I have life insurance if the worst should happen, but I don't have anything that protects me from this legal exposure that we have. For $1 a day, I'd be irresponsible if I did. Imagine going home and telling your spouse, because I guarantee you, the 8 out of 10 of you who don't have it up to date will have probably in the last 90 days sitting at breakfast, laying in bed, said, we really need to get our will done. When we keep putting it off, putting it off, putting it off. Imagine being able to go home and say, listen, hey, we talked about doing our will. I found a way that we can do it for the price of $1 a day, in addition to all the other benefits that we get. That's what we're talking about there. Open up your folders. I want you to write down a really important phone number. So the last page, and there's 2 pages in the back of that, but I want you to write this down. This is your law firm. This is a private number, okay? And so when you call, they know you're a Legal Shield member. And as a Legal Shield member, you're the #1 client that they have. Now, how do law firms treat their #1 clients? A little better than everybody else, right? So up at the top of that page, next to the last page, write 1-800-458-6982. That's your law firm. Now, many of you have probably said at some point in your life, like I have, I'm going to call my attorney. And you knew dang well you didn't have an attorney to call. Now you do. If you're interested, I know I went through this real quick, but remember, there's no contract. If you're interested in getting your family protected, put today's date right there. 12/7/20. Co-applicant, that would be your spouse or significant other there. Your dependents are your children that go down there. The second page, you can pay for it with your credit card. You can pay for it with your checking account. I've rushed through this because I didn't want to waste a lot of your time. I know you've been in trainings. I've been in those all my life. But we wanted to give you the chance. Go ahead and fill that out. If you're interested in marketing this, adding this to not doing anything extra, just helping better serve your clients there, get with Daiquiri. Afterwards, she can show you how you can add that. But all of the things that you're doing, as a family to be able to protect them. And with what's going on right now, with everything being done online, digitally and everything, being able to protect yourself, have access to the legal system, being able to protect yourself from identity theft, those are so important. So I'm going to go ahead and close, but I want you to, if you're interested, we will stay around here for just a few moments here to answer any questions. If you have a question, if you'll just raise your hand, Jason or Daiquiri or I will come by. If you're interested, it takes you literally takes you 60 seconds to fill that out. Give it to one of us. You can sign up anytime, just get it to Daiquiri. But go ahead. Now, the only thing I worry about when you do that, this is the hard close. Don't go home, put it on your desk, lay the mail on top of it, forget about it. It's happened too many times where they called me up and said, man, I meant to fill that out, and then something happened. So 60 seconds, you can fill that out, you're protected. We'll be around to answer any questions. We appreciate you letting us come, and if we can serve you in any way, just let us know. Thank you. Those of you that are online, I just realized, just get a hold of Daiquiri, and she'll get the information to you.
There's actually routes that go back and go in and out of the utility farms.
Do what?
There's a route that goes right to junkyards, parking yards. As soon as the fresh cars get pulled in from the insurance company, there's kids that are 18, 19 with backpacks going through every single car.
So they got GPSs, they got home addresses. You want to know what else? A copy machine. It has a hard drive on it, just like your computer. Everything's stored, everything that's run through the copy machine is stored on there. Before you take that, where they take them and dump them, people are going in, they're doing the same thing. They're getting those hard drives out of there. And then all that non-public of every client you've ever run a contract is in there.
You can actually now, because it just happened to me recently, once or twice at the gas pump. They chip on your credit card, they take a photo of it, and they can actually get it right out of card in an hour. It happened to me twice. I changed Bank of America cards twice in 6 weeks. But yeah, I watched them. So this one car, I went in, I opened the book permit, the checking account was there, the credit card was there, all their information, everything was in there. Bills, addresses, everything, and it was all current. So it's everywhere.
It's unbelievable.